Welcome, and thank you so much for joining me on day 14 of 30 Days on Womanhood. I'm Athena, and I just want to say I am so grateful and appreciative for every person who sees this, whether it's today, tomorrow, next week, next year. It doesn't matter. Whenever you're supposed to see it is when it's meant for you. Even the smallest thing can change something in your subconscious, and that's what we're here to do for each other. Teach one, each one, love one. I couldn't think of anything else that rhymed. Maybe I should cut that part out. I'm just kidding. Okay, so today is day 14. Okay, and today's word is interesting, but I think it's something that we should take into consideration much more often than we do. And it is agenda. I think that it's so important to consider and think about the agenda that we are putting in place in our own lives every single day. Like, what is the agenda that you have for the day? That's what's in calendars. That's what's in, like, what's your agenda for the year? What's your mission? What is your vision, right? But when we just break all of those big, harder questions down, it goes to a really simple thing of, like, what's your agenda, right? And so it can just be something so simple as, like, what are you going to do for the day? Or what is your life mission? It can really range from this to this. But what I've learned personally is that I am enjoying creating, fulfilling, and putting in place my own purpose and for my own reasons versus just literally following what is supposed to be followed. And so for me, I've kind of always been like that. I've always been, you know, a woman, or back in the day when I was a girl, uh, who always cared so much about my friends and family that I would absolutely make sure that what they wanted was accomplished, and how could I help them. And I was very concerned with the people that I loved around me, and I feel that I neglected my wants and needs sometimes, especially when I was with a partner. I think is really a big thing to discuss, because I don't think we realize how much attention we have on others, especially when it's our partner. Um, because there's usually that piece of us that's being fulfilled, where we feel like, something is missing because someone else is there to pay attention to us. But that's how we fall into the rabbit hole of going into other people's agendas in life versus following our own agenda. And that's fine. I think that, sometimes you have to lose yourself to find yourself. But if your eye is on the prize, then it's very, very hard to fall very far away from your goals and your agenda. So my point is that having some type of agenda for ourselves is so important. It can almost become like your, what's the word I want to use? It can almost become your shining star kind of thing. Like, that thought process when everything else is dark, that one thing that can bring light to moments of darkness. There are some times when I get into moments of, feeling sad or feeling upset about things that have happened before. And I kind of always realign. I am learning to constantly realign myself with what is the next mission? What is the next mission that has to do with my agenda as Athena, as my mission, as what I'm here to do? Like, what does my next step have to do with my present values and principles? Almost like, I hate to use those words because, no, I don't hate to use those words, but sometimes those words seem a little kind of a little like outgrown, like, oh, what are your values and what are your principles? But now that I'm getting older, like, I hate to say even older because it's not about getting older. It's about actually living the life that makes you, that creates satisfaction. And for me, the life that creates satisfaction is when I am able to respect my agenda, even if it's my agenda for the day, and creating the space that I want to live in constantly versus finding space to live in other people's energies. It's like creating your own space where, it's almost like saying your faith is so unshaken. Like having faith that is so unmoved that it doesn't matter what happens. It doesn't matter if something grand happens. It doesn't matter if something horrific happens. The thing is like, once we really recognize that our agenda is to be the best versions of ourselves, that can fix your values quickly. That can shift your mind frame quickly. Even when someone else is in their bad habits, you can still step back and say, hey, that's not my agenda, but I'm here for you when you're in a different state of mind. It's the truth. We can't always be there for everybody in every single state that they're in because it might not always match with ours. And that's what I had to learn. That was really hard. It was really hard as I was growing up to be like, oh, so you're in a mood, I'm not in that mood, and so I'm gonna shift over here. Me being a loner, I've kind of always had like my own kind of flow, but I always stick close to the people that I really trust and really know. So I always have like my 1-2 ride or dies, but then I'm always very friendly and nice to everyone else because I love people. And there are so many people who have talent when it comes to dealing with like the human race. Like when it comes to dealing with human beings, there are some people that are just talented at communication. And I do feel like I'm one of those people who have like who have a certain talent with being empathic and understanding how people may feel and like what somebody may feel in a group of people, because I can kind of just like, I don't know, some people just have a natural knack for looking at body language and tone and just kind of like tuning into how people feel. So when you have that gift, or when you have that ability, because we all do, when anyone tunes in enough for that, you also have to be careful of the backlash part of that, which is not going into other people's agendas, continuing to stay in your own agenda. And even if you do get caught up in someone else's life or caught up in someone else's energy, being able to come back to yourself, being able to come back to your agenda. See, that's why I said it's like a shining light. It's like that thing that always calls you back and says, hey, what's your purpose here? And once you have that full vision of at least what a few of your main purposes are, like once they're written down, once they're embedded in your brain, your agenda shifts because you shift. Your agenda goes along with your mood. Your agenda is not so thrown off by other people's thought process or actions or habits or moods. And, I'm sorry if I sound all over the place, but, I really apologize very rarely anymore because I feel like what is supposed to be said is supposed to be said. I genuinely feel that one of my gifts in life is to communicate things. And I don't always think that it's for me to communicate my necessarily, like, I don't think it's necessarily my point of view that I always have to get off, but I think that it's a start. Because of the fact that I do have empathy, I am able to grasp here and there how people think. And it's really wonderful, actually, to recognize how other people feel and think. Because then I'm able to step back and say, okay, I understand how you feel. This is how I feel. And I'm able to respect how someone else feels and how I feel at the same time. And that is agenda. Having my own agenda in life. Being able to say, this was the plans I made. If I want to change them, I will. If I don't, I won't. Regardless, I get the consequences or I don't even want to say that word because I can't think of it right now. That's not. Consequences or benefits. Okay, I receive the consequences or I receive the benefits of my choices, whether it's my agenda or someone else's. And the thing is at the end of the day, if I have lived someone else's agenda, I feel drained. But if I have lived my agenda, I don't feel drained. I feel like I've done something in my life that I'm supposed to do. See, and I've done both, and that's how I can find my balance and know what the balance feels like, because I have been sometimes so enthralled with my partner's life that I'm like, well, it may not be in the forefront of my mind, but in the back of my mind, I am like worried about what they need, worried about what they want, making sure they're okay. And in reality, I have to do that for myself, because who else is going to do it for me? It's really the truth. Like, sometimes we can jump out on a limb for people, and I have, and people have for me. But, it just comes to a time and place where even if I don't comment on someone else having a different agenda, we just have to be careful, because sometimes other people's agendas are not aligned with ours. And I think that's where it's really powerful to say, it's okay that you have your agenda, and it's okay that I have mine. And if they align, they do. And if they don't, they don't. And it's a blessing to be comfortable with that. But I think it's a very strong quality to always say, this is my agenda, this is my purpose, this is why I'm here. And it will always set the tone for your energy. And it's pretty powerful. I'm such a flexible person that if I don't set my agenda, then I hate to say it, but ain't no telling. I'm just kidding. But seriously, when it comes to like friends or family, a lot of times if I don't have my agenda or set my day or set, the way that I want to, even just being on time, you have to set your agenda. So being on time now is so beyond important to me. I can't even express how being early is so important to me. And that's on my agenda, to be early. So therefore, if I am getting a ride, or we all have to take these things into consideration. If you're getting a ride, make sure you get your ride early enough just in case they're late. Like, create your agenda for your life to be smoother. And that's what I'm working on. That's what I'm creating for myself. And it's taken me a while to get there. And there may be a lot of people in the world that are like, what? You know, oh, now you want to be on time? Yes, I do. And that's my agenda. Okay, I'm a little feisty on day 14, but it's because I'm almost halfway there. Can you believe it? Thank you for being on this journey with me. Create your own agenda because it's powerful. And it can change. You can change. You know, you can change your agenda. You can keep it the same. You can do whatever you like. And that's the beautiful part. But just knowing that you're making your own decisions and not following everyone else's decisions. Not just, that was just big. I think it's big for every person. But I don't want to say especially women, but at the same time, I do want to say especially women. Because in this society, it, you know, sometimes society makes women followers, and that's not what we are truly. Everyone is leaders. Everyone is a leader. And the best thing you can do is lead yourself. With great advice sometimes. And I have had wonderful advice, and if I can give anyone advice, then I am a blessing, and that is my agenda, is to be a blessing to everyone around me, and that means being a blessing to myself. So I have to start with my own agenda and creating boundaries for myself and what I consider to be on the Queen's agenda. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Yo, I love you guys. Thank you for being here with me. You have no idea how exciting this is for me. This is my first series on YouTube, and I am so just like blown away by the commitment that I've made. And like, honestly, oh, I said a word that I wasn't supposed to say because commitment's gonna be on the list. But honestly, I just, low key, I want to give a shout out to everybody who's been on YouTube this long, because like, gosh, it's real. I have like a newfound respect because it's real. So, mad respect to all the YouTubers, straight up. The commitment is gorgeous, y'all. So I love you guys. You are queens and kings out here. You are leaders. You are powerful. You are everything. You are everything. So spread the love, y'all. All right? I'll see you tomorrow. Enjoy. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your night. Enjoy your life. Blessings beyond measure. Peace, peace, peace.